You would totally ruin that tattoo. You would ruin the skin. How much did that machine cost you?
This machine cost a little over $60,000.
Oh my goodness. Now, let's get to some of the financial stuff because I'm interested. How much does it cost you to run this business on a monthly basis?
If you want to be in this industry, you have to think way bigger than getting away from just the bedside.
So the name of the channel is called Nurses to Riches.
Nurses to Riches?
Yeah, Nurses to Riches. Okay. And you're on your way.
Lord knows I would.
Yeah. What is up, guys? This is Jason here. Welcome back to our channel, Nurses to Riches. In this video, we're going to be talking to someone who's working in a field that's very unique. It's different than anything you've seen so far on our channel. And the reason why we're doing this is because if you're a nurse, there's more to being a nurse than just working in the hospital setting. I've interviewed nurses that work as informatics nurses from home. There's nurses that work as home health nurses who treat it like their own business and they drive to their patients' homes. I've also interviewed a nurse that works for Tesla at the Tesla factory, where he triages over 20,000 patients. So today we're going to be talking to a coworker that I work with at Kaiser Permanente. Her name is Tasha, and she owns her own beauty aesthetics company. She's gonna take us around her beauty company and let us know what it took her to get here. All right, so Tasha, first I want you to let us know your background.
Okay.
What did you do before you opened up your own business?
Before I opened my own business, I started off as an informatics nurse. I also did hospice at the same time. So informatics nurse for UC Davis and hospice on my own. And then I ventured off into the aesthetic world and I went back to emergency nursing and aesthetics, working in other people's spas. And then I went ahead and ventured off and opened my own spa.
And what kind of nursing degrees do you hold?
At the time, I only held an associate's degree. I actually would not recommend anybody to get a bachelor's. You should get an associate's degree, get in your field, and then let the hospital pay for your bachelor's and master's.
Yeah, that's actually one of the recommendations I give a lot of the nurses who ask me if they should get a BSN or ADN.
Absolutely
not.
not.
You know what? You could have your employer pay for your degree. So just get an ADN, get to work immediately, and then have the employer pay for it.
Absolutely. Right. And here in California versus Cleveland, Ohio, you guys have ratios here. So the goal as a nurse is always to make it here. If you made it to California, you have made it as a nurse.
I swear, you know, every time somebody comments on our videos, I'm like, okay, I sound like a spokesperson for California. It sounds like I'm getting paid to say all these things.
No.
But California really is the best place to work as a nurse.
The ratios alone and safe patient ratios, it's the strongest union I ever been a part of. And I mean, out of any construction union, anything, California Nurses Union do not play. They will protect their nurses. And so this is, if you make it to California, you have made it as a nurse.
Yeah. All right. So it's getting a little cold out here and we're going to take it inside and we'll talk more about your business and what you did to get to this point. Awesome. All right. So let's go inside and take a look at the place.
So welcome to Urban Medical Aesthetics Beauty Bar. And this is my receptionist, London. And come on in and check out the place.
So Tasha, tell me exactly why you decided to get into beauty aesthetics.
Even before I became a nurse, I was a hairstylist. So I hold my cosmetology license in Ohio and here in California. So I have always been in the beauty industry. At the end of graduating from cosmetology school, they have like a career day. So all these different things, what you can do with cosmetology. And a company came out and talked about aesthetic nursing. So I was like, oh, it's a done deal. I'm going to nursing school. So I paid for nursing school as a hairdresser in Cleveland, Ohio. So I worked, this was always the goal, always.
This was the ultimate goal from the beginning.
From the beginning.
Right. Okay. So how did the trajectory go? Because you started as a nurse. What was the first unit you worked in as a nurse?
Informatics. So as I was in nursing school, we were recruited by Cleveland Clinic to do their informatics. So prior to me even taking NCLEX, I had already had a job as nurse in informatics. I did informatics nursing for 10 years. 5 of them was here with UC Davis. I went to Dameron and was an informatics nurse for them, and Marshall Medical Center for a year, did informatics for them.
So how did you end up at Kaiser? Out of all places.
Okay, so after I finished my contract with Dameron, the emergency room recruited me there. So I went full force into the emergency room, and everyone from Dameron also had a second job at Kaiser.
Of course.
Everybody had a second job at Kaiser. Yeah. So I was with Dameron for about 2.5 years, and then I made the transition to Kaiser because all my friends were already there anyway.
And you've been at Kaiser for how many years now?
A year and a half.
A year and a half. Mm-hmm. Do you like it there so far?
I do like it. I like night.
Well, hold on. Let me stop you right there. Because I remember the other day at work, you're like, I can't wait till I get out of this place. And all I do is focus on my business.
I like Kaiser. Yeah. The emergency department is not like it used to be. The emergency department pre-pandemic was, you felt a sense of pride, you know, being the difference and catching the misses and, you know, just noticing something's wrong with the patient and jumping into action. When COVID came, with our best efforts, we could not save these patients.
Nobody expected this. Nobody thought they'd be treating so many so quickly. And it's not like flu. It is chronic pneumonia, and it is killing hundreds each day.
And with that, it affected my mental health. So when it started to bring me down and I started to feel at a loss, like there was nothing that I can do, that's when I got back into the beauty industry and I started working a second job in the spa. Because when you come to a spa or you're in the beauty industry, people are seeking you. When you're in the emergency room, it's almost always the worst day of their life. So I needed this balance. And so as much as I do love Kaiser and I love my Kaiser family and they're my biggest supporters here and there, I don't want to stay at the bedside much longer because the pandemic is kind of just like taking the joy out of nursing, the short staffing, just, you know, the camaraderie we used to have to do potlucks and this, that, and other, and these masks and these gowns and just everything every day is just taking the joy out of nursing.
So what is your day-to-day operation look like, right? So when you first opened the doors, how did you get clients into the business? And then how do they book their appointments? How do they know about the pricing? Where do they get all this information from? Do you have a website?
Yes, okay. I do have a website. My website is umabeautybar.com, and our Instagram and Facebook are UMA_beautybar. And so a lot of ways that people came to know our spa is before we opened, we had a giant grand opening party. And so we put flyers out, we did commercials, we did Facebook and Instagram posts. Our supporters shared the information. All of the profits went to Elk Grove Food Bank. And also a major thing that probably helped us is we were preparing to open February of last year, and I did not know at the time, but it got wind that we were the first Black-owned and woman-owned medical spa. So we became a Black history story for Good Day Sacramento.
Let's meet the owner of Elk Grove's first Black-owned med spa. This is Tasha. Tasha's the owner of Urban Medical Aesthetics. Keyword there, Beauty Bar.
That was the first big story that we had on us, and so people were booking before doors opened. Prior to opening, I had a good nest egg. I'm a busybody, so I always work overtime because I feel like I got too much time on my hands.
That sounds like Monica right there.
So I didn't know that this was going to be a thing quite yet, but I had already put money away. And once this became a conversation with my business partner, Alexa, and we was like, we're doing this, I worked every single shift there was at Kaiser, which ultimately let me get to know people of every single shift. And all those people are my customers.
That's amazing.
And they're not even in the ER anymore.
So how about you take us around then? Because I want to see what type of equipment you use on these patients or these clients.
So this is our waiting area. And so while we're in the waiting area, then they can ask London about the products and the specials that we have featured for the month. So London takes care of that here in the waiting area. And then we can come on in here. All right, so in this room, this is where we do hydrofacials. We have jelly masks for any type of skincare issue, for soothing. We also have Saluma, and Saluma here is a light, and the light is either purple or blue, and it either kills bacteria or it slows down fine wrinkles.
And what is this here?
So those are jelly masks. So each one of the jelly masks is very specific to what the client is wanting to achieve. So for example, you are an African-American woman, you have suffered from acne. What you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna use the spot diminishing jelly mask with your service because we want to lift up the hyperpigmentation and even out the skin tone.
Now, the thing I forgot to ask is, what kind of license do you need to become an esthetician, right? Or
so the
BD?
esthetician is a license, right? So you'll go to, so let's say for me, I am, again, hair, nails, and skin. I can do all three services because I have a cosmetology license. If your focus is just skincare, you would get the esthetician license, which is less hours in school, and then you would focus on that.
But for you specifically, because you have your RN license,
Yes.
how does that help you in running this business?
So
Do you need an RN license to run a business like this?
You actually don't. You can have, to be an owner, you don't have to be in a medical field. So you just own the business and the medical professionals are running the business, right? However, you do need to have a physician that's associated or a business partner in California, but in other states you do not.
And how did you partner up with a physician to run this business?
So Alexa is one of my closest girlfriends that I met during the pandemic, and I just kind of came to her with my vision and she believed in it and we just went full-fledged, and next thing you know, it ended up being a conversation November, December-ish, and then we were opening we had our space in February and we were opened in March. So this is just where the client will pick whatever size gown that they need for services. So this area here is the Botox Bar, and we offer Botox and fillers here. And
how much do you charge for those services?
So those services vary. Ours, Botox actually varies and is per unit. So for example, if you get a package of 60 units or more, then your price is $10 per unit. But if you are doing a lot less, like a lip flip, then that service is $99 because it's only 6 units. On our website, you'll see our prices go in increments depending on how many units you're planning to get.
And do you need a license to perform these injections?
You have to be an RN in California to inject Botox. You have to be an RN or a physician.
If you're just an RN working with Botox injections, do you still need a physician to partner up with?
Yeah, so you need to, because it's just like the hospital, a physician is overseeing your work. So you are the injector, but the practitioner is making sure that that person is suitable for Botox. For this area, this is our Botox Bar. So for our clients that have been with us for quite some time, they come in every 3 months for their touch-up. So when they come in, they just sit in the Botox bar area. We do their injections in whatever area needs their boost, and they're typically in and out in all of 15 to 20 minutes.
That's pretty quick. Are these injections painful?
They are not. So the injection, the needle is the same needle that we do insulin injections.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So something similar to that. So we have a couple of things, like if people are nervous about injections just in general, we have stress balls or we have distractors that vibrate, and then we just distract them.
It's like distracting a baby during a dental appointment.
That's it.
And here I've avoided the dentist for years because I thought it hurt.
All right. So this room is another one of our injection rooms. So in this room, we have quite a few different machines that we use. For example,
looks like futuristic weapons to me.
They are weapons against hair.
Yeah.
Okay. A lot of these are for hair removal, tattoo removal, and fine lines and wrinkles removal, as well as cherry angioma and veins. So this is one of the laser rooms. And so one of our lasers that we have here, typically if you have a tattoo in an area that you can be set up right, we'll put you in this room. But if you have to lay down, we'll put you in room 3. And so this machine here will do, all of these attachments will go to this machine.
How much did that machine cost you?
This machine cost a little over $60,000.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
Tesla.
Yes.
And in our first room, our hydrofacial machine is just a bit over $50,000.
You got 2 Teslas up in here.
Yeah.
We have 3. Where's another laser in that room?
Do you get a lot of clients with ex-girlfriends' names?
Oh, I get a lot. So that is my moneymaker.
Yeah.
The moneymaker is the ex-girlfriend and ex-boyfriend. But I actually have a lot of clients that get tattoos that they didn't proofread prior to getting. The biggest clientele that I have are ex-gang members that they have turned a new leaf. Like maybe they are wanting to kind of straighten up and go into corporation. That was something young that they did, and they're no longer in that light.
You know, I find it really cool that you're helping people turn their lives around by doing this. If you think about it, you know, like people who used to be ex-gang members and now they want to work, you know, in the corporate field or...
Yeah, and we've actually been approached by different organizations that if they're sponsoring a particular person, maybe at the Elk Grove Food Bank or shelters, actually will sponsor the money for that person so that they can get a new lease on life and change. They might be in transitional housing. They may have went through rehab as far as one of their vices, whether it been drugs or alcohol, and they're just doing a whole 360. And this is the last thing on the list to kind of make the change official.
Now, is it painful to get the tattoo removed?
We offer numbing, but what we always do, we always start with a spot test in that area, and we determine if you will need numbing or not. But I have a lot of people that they don't do the numbing at all. So,
all right, show us all of these guns I see, because that's what I'm calling them. I don't know what they are.
Handles, don't say guns.
Handles. Okay.
Okay, so this particular handle here is for laser hair removal, and this handle right here is for our carbon facial, and that's really useful for people with acne. These 2 handles here, this one we use for cherry angiomas. So a cherry angioma is a mole or a vein that we can reduce with laser, and for this one it is IPL. Our biggest clientele for that is for people with rosacea. Rosacea is if you ever see people with broken pigment or redness on the cheeks, that's a skin disorder. So prior to starting, you do your medical forms here during consultation, and you also do a skin type assessment. And the skin type assessment goes off of how does your skin react to the sun? Do you burn easily? Do you use sunscreen or not? Which everyone should use sunscreen.
Listen, I've heard it enough.
Everybody should be using sunscreen, but they would use this particular handle. And this handle right here is for tattoo removal. So this is how you do it. So you see the red light when you have your goggles on?
Yeah.
And then you see this button at the top?
Yeah.
You just press it. And that is called frosting. So when you're doing a tattoo, you keep going up in energy until you see frosting.
You would totally ruin that tattoo. You would ruin the skin.
This machine here is called the M-Slim, and what it does is it is electromagnetic stimulation. So with this handle here, for example, if we put it on the abdomen, it would equal 20,000 sit-ups in a 30-minute treatment. It's not painful, but what it does is it kind of like moves the whole stomach. So you're kind of just laying there watching TV in our treatment room. Or a lot of people, we turn the lights off and we have soothing music and they fall asleep during their treatment.
I need to get me one of those machines.
You need to come in here for treatment.
I'll be at home eating donuts while I'm using the machine.
So you'll just stay the same way, is what you're saying. And then this machine here, it does ultrasonic cavitation, basically laser lipo. And this machine here is PRP. PRP is plasma-rich platelet. So what we do is we combine this with microneedling. So if you come closer to here, these are the results of skin pen treatments. So if you have what people consider uneven skin tone, or a lot of our clients refer to it as craters, then this is what you would do, and we can even out the skin. So going on to room 3. This is probably one of our busiest rooms. We do full body laser here. And so we have the treatment bed here, and the gowns that we saw in the hallway, they'll get properly draped and will numb whatever area needs numbing, but most places don't. So we do full body laser in here. They come and relax, and we just have conversation about what their goals are. And we will do laser here in this room.
Now, let's get to some of the financial stuff, because I'm interested. How much does it cost you to run this business on a monthly basis?
Okay, so on a monthly basis, so we finance a few of our machines. A lot of our machines, like I said, I work there, I got the money, and I pay for them outright. So for financing a few of our big machines, that kind of comes up to about $3,500 a month.
Oh, okay.
Right, to finance it.
Per machine or for all of them?
For all of.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's not bad at all. So you have to make sure you make your bottom line, right? And then I have this whole space. So the whole space, you have to think of rent as well, that you have to also. And I have 4 employees. So I'm also.
Are they part-time or full-time employees?
I have 2 part-time employees and 1 full-time.
And how did you find your employees?
I just so happen to know them.
That's cool. That's really cool.
I just so happen to know them, but I do have I have a partnership with an HR company that if I wanted to find another employee, I just go ahead and put a requisition out, and it goes out to the masses, like Indeed, LinkedIn, the local newspaper, so that I get inquiries like that, and I screen them and bring them in for interviews. And
do you have a payroll company that deals with your payroll, or do you do that yourself?
So I calculate the payroll, but the HR company that does our handbook, that does our payroll, that does our requisitions for new employees, that is all one company.
How did you find this company?
I actually, when you do a search, you just get a list of everybody. I reach out to all of them, and then they all have to do demos, give me prices. I compare the prices, and then I also show them what the other person priced as, and see if I can get a better deal.
That is a lot of work. And you're doing that on your own?
I do it all on my own.
That is a lot. And you have a job at Kaiser while you're doing this?
Yep, and I work at Kaiser full-time. And
And
I'm a master's full-time degree student.
Oh my gosh. This is why this is a 24/7 job.
This is a 24/7 job.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
So do you have an accountant? Do you have a lawyer?
I do.
You do?
Yes.
Okay.
So you have to pay your lawyer retainer, your lawyer fees. Everything is legal, right? Because this is a medical field. So every time you do something, you have to run it past your lawyer. So for us, we went for a lawyer that specialized in the medical spa industry.
And how did you find your lawyer? Because I've been trying to look for a lawyer for our business for months now, almost years. And I still haven't been able to find one. So
for me, I just go to other people, and so when I'm going to a class, for example, and I'm getting further education on laser, I ask them, who do they recommend? So every person that I've gotten as a referral when I'm in a class, because that's a part of the class. If you're going for laser, you're going for microneedling, when you're doing those certifications, you're supposed to get all that information from them, because that is the person that's in the business.
And how much is the retainer for a lawyer?
So the retainer for my lawyer was $5,000.
So are you able to meet your bottom line every month?
Every single month.
Every single month.
Every single month. We have been so blessed with the community supporting us, and we have a niche where we don't have, we do have a competitor now. So we, again, were the first Black medical spa, and so ever since we opened, then a few other ones have popped up, but our reputation speaks for itself. We have 5 stars on Yelp and Google reviews. We have big name clientele that refer us, and our success kind of speaks for itself because there's going to be somebody you know in the area that has been here at least once.
Now, can you give me a ballpark figure of what your income, it doesn't have to be the exact same amount, but ballpark figure of what the income is versus the expenses of running a business like this?
Okay.
On a monthly basis.
So you have your payroll, which varies, and you have your machines, and you have your rent. So let's say overall on a monthly basis, that's about $7,000 every month as far as expenses to run my business.
I gotta say, running your business is a lot cheaper than a lot of the nurses I've spoken to and what they spend on their expenses at home.
Oh, yeah.
So that's pretty good. That's pretty low for running a business, I think.
So a lot of things like, for example, we have Skin Pen. We bought that outright. So that's 100% profit. So what I did was I went to Kaiser. I picked up a bunch of shifts. I paid for it outright. Now I have 100% profit off of that. My laser hair machines is very low consumables. The only thing I have to buy for this machine is ultrasound jelly.
That's the same thing we use for our ultrasounds at work.
Exactly. So very low consumables. So what you want to do is you want to throw a lot of the money towards the machines, get the machine paid off. And at that point, you are 100% profit on this machine outside of the ultrasound consumable. That's probably about $30 a month.
Okay, so you said about $7,000, right, per month?
Per month.
Yeah.
So that's with salary, that is with all the product that we use. We carry a skin line here called Obagi. So that's with the skincare line that we purchase for people to buy their products to accommodate all the services that they're already receiving to keep up that good practice on their skincare. And so we bring in, well, anywhere from 40 to 60,000 a month.
Now I get it.
Wow.
Why you came to work the other day and you said, I think I'm going to give this up soon.
So I just so happen to be blessed here with the clientele that I have, but our services is at a really good price and rate. But the way that our structure is that when a new client comes, you pay in full. So if you have an 8-session appointment, you pay in full, and we schedule out your appointments every 4 weeks.
Now, I gotta say, again, what you do it's huge because you're helping these people that, let's say they need these tattoos removed. These people that want to look or feel better about themselves. But on top of that, you have employees that you're helping by keeping them employed, right? And then on top of that, you're finding success with your business, right? Because
yeah, and that was the scary part, was because this is a industry that is a want, not a need. Yeah. But for certain people, the need to look good and to feel good in these times right now where things feel hopeless is rewarding to them. They're looking forward to this. They've been locked in the doors for 2 years. So people are ready to bust out and go on vacation and explore and get back to the old them. Because, you know, for a while, we wasn't getting haircuts. We wasn't getting our nails done.
Tell me about it.
We was out here struggling. But for me and you, we had gowns, gloves, whatever. We didn't care anymore. Like, nobody was looking at us at work. We was all looking the same.
That's so true. So my question is, why are you pursuing your master's degree? You said, what is it, NP or just master's?
So right now I'm doing just the master's degree. The reason why I'm doing it is because I find that when you do the master's separately and then you do the NP certificate separate, you save about $20,000. So the ultimate goal is when we started this, you had to be partnered with a physician. And in California, once you are an NP and you have so many hours locked in, you can also be an owner, a self-owner. And I plan on expanding this business. So I don't want everything to fall on my doctor, you know, because she has a huge liability in the company. But of course, she trusts me. We happen to just be friends, but she trusts me and she understands that I would never put her in a position where she would be liable for anything. Like, I have certifications not only in these services, but if you had a complication, you would reach out to me.
And speaking of liabilities, do you have to get liability insurance?
Absolutely. You have to get workers' compensation insurance for your employees. They accumulate sick time, holiday pay. They make commission on products and services because at the end of the day, this is a sales job.
Now, that amount that you spend on your expenses, that $7,000, does that include the workers' compensation?
No.
Oh. So how much would you spend on all of the other things?
So the insurances, we pay either in a 6-month increment or we pay at a year increment. And so say, for example, like the insurance, we pay for the insurance to cover our physician and for myself just for as practitioners. That insurance itself is $2,500.
A year or every 6 months? Oh,
a year.
Okay.
Yeah, so not too bad.
Not too bad.
Yeah. Workers' compensation, it goes up as you add more employees. So as I grow and expand, then that will go up. But right now, for the employees that I do have, that's about $1,300, which I would much rather have that. And then something happened, and then they have a bill of, you know, $20,000, right? So on the flip side, you know, all of these things, these coverages, they benefit you in the long run. I also have to have insurance. I have to insure each one of the machines.
So what advice would you have for a new nurse or anybody who might want to get into this field? You know, like, what steps should they take to get to where you are today?
What I would advise is I would always say to, again, work from the inside out. I think you should work for a spa or either be trained by somebody locally so that if you have those questions, you have a mentor built in. And what I would also say is that if you plan on going into this business, understand that this is just not a bedside business. This is a sales job. Okay, so you have to, if you are not a good salesperson or you are not a go-getter and you understand that the words that you say or the things that you present, you have to be a customer of the services that you provide, right? For example, my employees, all of them get free services because they are my walking.
Can I be your employee?
You definitely can. You absolutely can. You know what I would give to have a male nurse in here?
That's cool.
My clients that are male nurses, I'm always like, listen, think about it. But my employees, they get free services. Who is your best person to be a walking billboard? If she is not in here, and this is London, my receptionist, if London is not in here looking on point because her makeup and hair and her skincare is not bomb, you're going to be looking at me crazy. If you want to be in this industry, you have to think way bigger than getting away from just the bedside. It's much bigger than that. You have to always be talking about the business. There is not one person at Kaiser that does not know.
That's true. That is so true. Well, that's it for this video, guys. I want to thank Tasha for being part of the video because it takes a lot to want to be part of our videos. Most of the time when we interview people right now, at the moment, especially because I started this during COVID, we've been doing our interviews through StreamYard, which is like a streaming service. So I'm talking to people over a camera. But when we did one interview like this where we flew out to San Diego to meet this nurse who's making like $600,000 a year. He drives a Lamborghini.
Oh, nice.
And he's and he let us drive in his Lamborghini. So that video went viral, and I'm like, okay, maybe we should do more of that and go up to these nurses' businesses or find out what it is that nurses are doing that's uniquely different than others. And interview these nurses in person. So that's why I'm so glad you let me do this today.
Yeah, absolutely. But it is right now, nurses need to understand that there's so many opportunities outside of bedside that the world is yours. Whatever you want to do with nursing, you can almost think of it and have it done. Hi, I'm beauty nurse Tasha, and this is Urban Medical Aesthetics Beauty Bar. This is my receptionist, London. You'll give her a call at 916-307-1462 to book a free consultation. Check out our website at www.umabeautybar.com. We're on Instagram and Facebook at UMA_beauty bar. And you can find us on Google reviews and Yelp review. We are 5 stars.